My daily routine is I get up about 4 o'clock. I take a walk, and everybody that gets a delivery of the newspaper, the man always throws it just on the driveway. So what I do is I take the paper, I pick it up, and I take it up to their door, and I leave it there so that this way when they get up, the paper's right there. Since Police Academy, like that. Very, very interesting. We stay in the car while the policeman gets out, but we are very observant, and then he explains everything to us when he gets back in the car, exactly what took place. And right now I like to have a citizen's arrest book because of the fact I see so many things out there on the street, like they're not supposed to do that, but we don't get that. This is my target. I did not get in the middle, right, but at least I got where I've got 1, 2, I'm sorry, I can't do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th one is here. So I was pretty close within. So for the first time I did. There's just so many things that people for some reason don't know who to call, and I sort of guide them a little bit. I'm not afraid to make phone calls. That's the thing. If you don't make phone calls, you'll never get the answers. So you just make the calls. Before I moved to the suburbs, I lived in Chicago, and my husband was a bartender. And Frank Sinatra used to come to the bar where my husband bartended with some of his friends. And my husband got to have dinner with him, and he had brought Barbara there too, his wife. And my husband said he was a very comfortable person to be with. It's just really down to earth. They enjoyed. Frank Sinatra liked trains. So my husband and some of his friends got together, and they put together a gold train engine, just an engine, not the whole train, just an engine. And they had asked me if I would take it to the Elmwood Park post office to mail it out to Frank Sinatra. And I said, sure. So I get to the post office, and at the post office, there's one person that works there who was never really friendly. And she always had an attitude, but unfortunately I got her when I got there to have to mail this train up. So I got up to her and I told her, I said, okay, this has to be mailed out. And she looked down at the name, and she looked up at me like, oh yeah, right. And I said, you had to be there to see the expression on her face and looking up at me like, what am I, trying to kid her or something? So Frank received the train, and he was just thrilled with the train. It was beautiful. I saw it, and before it got put in the box and wrapped and everything, was a beautiful piece of, for his house. And so he called, with a thank you to the guys, and that was that. Sometimes my husband would call, and like he bartended, and then when he got done bartending, I'm waiting for him to come home. Well, he wasn't coming home. He'd call me. Guess where I'm at? He was either on a plane on the way to Vegas, or he was in Vegas already. This is what he did. That last minute, they decided to go to Vegas. Many people lived there that he knew. And I never got mad. I said, that's fine, Frank Sinatra was out there when he was there, but there were other celebrities that my husband would see out there. My husband backs in exhibitions with Jake LaMotta and Rocky Marciano. I wasn't happy about it, but he did boxing, and he was with the CYO. I think it's a Catholic youth organization. I think that's what it means. And it was just one of those things that he enjoyed. I was taking a walk down the block, which I do quite often. I enjoy walking the block and just checking out to see if everybody's okay and stuff. And I happened to see 3 guys coming out of that forest, the same area where the fort was. And they were carrying shovels. And I looked at them, and I said there were no cars on the street that belonged to them, because I know all the cars that belonged to everybody on the street. And and they said something about they just buried a body, and they just sort of chuckled. And I'm like, okay, this is not funny. So I did call the police to let them know that there's 3 walking down the street, and I tried to see how far they were going down to see where they did have a car, because how did they get here? And I know they did not live on the street. every day there could be something. Crime never stops. I said that's why I check the neighborhood. I mean, every day I check the neighborhood. As long as I'm healthy and I'm able to walk, and I said to go around and to be able to talk to people, I'm going to be doing it. Crime does not take a day off. That's why I'm doing the neighborhood watch.